Hello my friends, it's Ebird Online and I'm back by popular demand. And what else is back by popular demand? Yes, that's right, the Ebird's thoughts on everybody's favourite lesbians, Kris and Jeymi. And guys, I got 1,000,001 messages this week on what my thoughts were on Kris. Well, I guess it's fair to say she walks the fine line between idiocy and incoherence. And in between gurning, panting, sweating and narcolepsy, she pops opiates by the dozen. Yes guys, it's my duty to inform you that something in the buttermilk ain't clean. And the more I listen to and analyse Kris's narrative on the show, the stranger it becomes. Hang on tight guys, this is going to get real messy. Yes, it's 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, Season 5, Episode 4. Right, so just before we begin, just for anyone who's new here, my reviews are supposedly humorous. Well, they make me laugh at least. Consequently, everything I say has to be taken with a pinch of salt. And any comments or observations I make about people are just for fun. Unless of course you are those people, and then you might find the fun element missing. And so I guess in essence what I'm saying is if you have a sense of humour and a spare 15 to 20 minutes, then this channel might be for you. But if not, you might want to log off. And I also want to give a massive thank you to all of my subscribers, especially my day ones. You know who you are. You know I've got love for you. But if you've yet to do so, consider subscribing. Just hit that big red button marked subscribe and make Ebird a very happy Ebird. And also, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to smash the like button. It really does help with my analytics. Thanks guys. And so without further ado, I give you Kris and Jeymi. So when we first meet up with this couple, they're sitting at home having a coffee. It's morning time and via a translation device, Kris lets Jeymi know that she's really eager to get out and see everything she can of the city.
So, I'm feeling better today.
Okay, good.
I want to get out. I want to see the city a little bit.
It's my second day with Kris, and I notice understanding her in person is hard because when we text, I'm translating everything for me.
And guys, is it just me or does Kris look a little bit, I don't know, a little bit peaky, a little bit pallid? Maybe she needs a walk about. Maybe she needs to get some fresh air. Oh well, it would seem great minds think alike. Kris too has decided she wants to go out, see everything she can and recharge her batteries.
I'm so excited to finally be here, and I want to go out and see everything that we can. I want to go to a store where they have weapons. I want to buy something to keep us safe.
What? She wants to go out on a sunny day to purchase deadly weapons. She's only been in Colombia 1 day and she's already ascertained there are too many Bogota bandits for Kris to take a chance. Oh my lord. Kris, if you're worried about dangerous people in Bogota, try looking in the mirror. And I've got to say, most people that are 8 days out from their wedding day are busy looking at party poppers, napkins, wedding favours. And perhaps a few balloons, but oh no, not Kris, not this one. She's out busy looking for weapons and knives. And I've been talking about it for 3 years now. And guys, it's finally here. Our very first episode of Wives with Knives. I knew this day would come. I've just been waiting. But poor Jeymi, oh dear, she looks absolutely gobsmacked. And she let Kris know immediately that she was none too keen on the idea. And Kris said, I know it worries you, but it's part of who I am. I've always had weapons. Which is it, Kris? Is it part of who you are, part of your culture, or to help keep Jeymi and yourself safe? And I feel very sorry for poor Jeymi. It's only day 2, and she's been hit with yet another absolute curveball. And so kids, and stupid adults, this is why you don't agree to marry someone who you've never met. And now I realise just how stupid and naive I was regarding my worries for this relationship. I was worried that the pheromones might not work. They might not actually fancy each other in person. But it's far, far worse than that. You don't know each other and you don't know anybody's history, how they were brought up, their culture, what's important to them, and what they think is reasonable compared to what you think or the rest of the world might consider reasonable behaviour. I'm fairly sure not everybody from Alabama has a cache of knives and wants to carry them around at all times, no matter where they are. And so I guess how could Jeymi have ever foreseen this situation? And guys, I'd absolutely love to know if this whole idea for carrying a knife had been discussed previously with Jeymi, or if it was just a bolt out of the blue. It does seem like she's fairly shocked. It totally looked as if Jeymi had no idea that Kris wanted to purchase and carry around a knife, and if so, this is the kind of thing Kris should have told her before even moving to Bogota. I think there's a very good reason that Kris kept so many secrets, because if Jeymi had have known all of the illnesses she had, all of her peculiarities, and exactly what her personality was like, there'd have been no wedding.
In Alabama, it's very common to walk around with knives, guns. One of the best joys in down south redneck fun is knives. I really have no idea how many I have.
Interesting. But if you have a knife just for protection, why would you have 20, 30, even 40? It's very certainly more than just protection. Guys, I've got to say, I really don't understand it. I think I understand guns a little bit more. You can go to the gun range, shoot at targets, and I guess some people shoot animals. And I used to go clay pigeon shooting with my dad when I was younger, and it's absolutely great fun. But what do you do with a knife? You can't really play with it or practice with it. I don't really see what fun it can be. Maybe somebody can clue me in. And as the couple are talking to production, Kris lets us know that she's heard that Bogota is really dangerous. And there's drug lords and kidnappings and criminality everywhere. Kris, there's many places for which that's the truth. I'm not saying Colombia is the safest place on the planet, but thousands of people move there every year and to South America in general, and I'm sure all of those people don't walk around with knives. And if we remember back to last week, when Kris was so upset that Jeymi spent an extra $100 a month on a nice apartment in a nice area, this is the reason, Kris, so that you're not rubbing shoulders with criminality in poor areas. That is what you're paying for. But Jeymi really isn't that keen. She said, well, we can go to the shop, but can we keep it open for discussion? I'll answer that for you, Jeymi. No, you can't. And I'll tell you why. Because as soon as you get into that knife shop, you will have to prise that knife out of Kris's icy iron grip if you'd like to prevent her from purchasing one. That's why. Once you enter that shop, it's pretty much game over. But we'll see, shall we? And so while the couple are talking to production, Jeymi said, I'm really scared right now. And Kris said, we need this for protection. And Jeymi said, well, it's not dangerous here. And Kris said, you told me yourself you were punched in the face on a bus and somebody stole your mobile phone. And Jeymi said, yes, but that was one incident in 5 years. And I have to say, that does all sound very traumatic. But I do wonder to myself, if she'd have had a knife, would she have prevented it from happening? Because as she was getting robbed, I guess it was by surprise, she'd have had to pull the knife, and then maybe the knife would be taken from you, and you might have your own weapon used on you. Guys, all I really know is this. Where there are lots of deadly weapons, deadly things happen. That's it, really. And so the couple leave the apartment, and they go over to the weapons store. When they enter, I can't believe my eyes. There aren't just knives, there are guns and all sorts of paraphernalia in this shop. And then Kris selects a knife with a serrated edge. It's very big and sturdy looking. And Jeymi recalls in horror, and she says this knife is big enough to kill a cow. And Kris said, you do not have to worry about me. I know how to keep us safe, and I know how to handle a knife. Guys, I hope just one thing. If Kris and Jeymi ever do get accosted by somebody, I'm crossing my fingers that that person's either a quite weak small woman or a man below the age of 12. Because anybody else is going to be able to overpower you with quite some considerable ease. Your knife could very quickly become their knife. And guys, what happened next shocked me to my core. I know I'm laughing about it, but Kris stood in the shop, legs akimbo, in quite an aggressive stance, and she started making slashing and stabbing motions with the knife in her hand. She was a little bit less Zorro and a little bit more Zero, but I gotta tell you, this woman was going wild. Jeymi looked absolutely dumbfounded, and she told production, I hope the woman from the store didn't think that Kris was a psychopath. Translation, my name's Jeymi, and I think my wife-to-be Kris is a psychopath. Oh my God, Jeymi, I agree with you. And then Kris casually remarked that she had one just like this, given to her as a present on her 8th birthday. Jeymi said, oh really? I had a Barbie. And so Jeymi agreed to Kris purchasing the knife, but she said it can only be in the apartment, it's not coming into our room. Oh dear, Jeymi, don't you trust Kris? And Kris said to Jeymi, yeah, and I know exactly what Kris is thinking. This little bitch ain't leaving my side. That knife will be going wherever Kris wants it to go. And do you want to know something else, Jeymi? You will be powerless to stop her, and do you want to know why? Everybody after me, because she's got the knife. The metal does the talking. So yeah, that was about it. Mr. Ebird has a theory that Kris has some sort of childhood trauma and that's why she's acting out with the knife and doing her Zorro routine. I really don't know. It was very strange. But guys, however strange I think it is, it's not nearly as strange as poor Jeymi thinks it is. And she said, I already knew strange things were happening, like her narcolepsy and her car crashes. What? Car crashes? This is the very first thing I've heard about that. Guys, did you know about these car crashes? Oh dear, yet another piece of this jigsaw fits exactly where it's meant to. Okay, car crashes, her night terrors, she wants to carry weapons. And she has a very important surgery which needs urgently doing. Oh God, guys, who's going to tell Jeymi about the cold turkey? And that's where we end things for this week. So guys, what does the Ebird make to all of this? Well, it started out on a very weird tip. The first thing was a 40-odd-year-old woman dressing up like a fairy, and then the whole thing about the house burning down and her not having enough money to renovate it and get it rented out before she moved for good to Bogota. Was she insured for this house fire? If not, why not? And it was years ago, so why hasn't she got the house done by now? And then there was her desperation last week to get to a chemist just to get kids' toothpaste. Surely that's sold in any supermarket or shop. And then once there, she bought extremely strong painkillers and then explained all about this surgery to Jeymi in front of a third party. And again, I don't know what to think about this surgery. She's waited 21 years to do it. Will she have to now pay out of her own pocket to do it? Or is she still insured? Is somebody insuring her? Can she just click her fingers and say, right, whoever's currently insuring me now owes me this £100,000 so I can go and get it done because I've decided today's the day? I doubt it, but guys, I've had absolutely no dealings with American health insurance whatsoever. So I'd love it if you can weigh in comments and let me know what you think to this situation. And then there's the night terrors. Pretty freaky at the best of times, and the narcolepsy, which I think she knew about, but it was clear from what Kris said earlier that she didn't know how bad it was and she was going to have to explain it to her. Why? Why couldn't you have done that over the phone? Suspicious. Very, very suspicious. And then on to this week, and something which the Ebird seems to have missed, the car crashes. What car crashes? I haven't heard anything about them. I do watch the show 3 times before I do a review. But I have missed things before. It's entirely possible I could have missed it, but I just haven't heard anything about these car crashes. And it's very strange because it's in plural. Maybe the roads are very, very busy. In the tiny town in rural Alabama that Kris is from, who knows? And also not forgetting the time that Kris went missing for 21 days. And we still don't really know what was happening during those 21 days. She managed to do a 1-2 switcheroo and kind of blame everything on Jeymi because Jeymi had been contacting that other woman in Texas. But I'm pointing my big lottery-winning finger at you. Where were you? What were you doing, Kris, during this time? There aren't many things which you wouldn't be able to get round during 21 days, even if you were wildly busy or had a family member in hospital. That can be explained. What is it you were doing with no explanation? What is it that you were doing that was so important you didn't even respond to texts? What were you doing, Kris? Inquiring minds would like to know. And malevolent minds would like to know even more. Guys, I'm forming my own theories and in a week or 2 I'll be able to flesh them out. I'm very reticent to jump to too quick a conclusion. I've done it a few times before. One particular time was Big Ed. I said he seems like a rather nice chap, very genuine, and he'd be a great addition to the show. Wrong and wrong again. But yeah, guys, there is so much to unpack. But at this point, I would say, Jeymi, go now. Don't look back. Keep on running. Run, Jeymi, run. Jeymi, I've got a feeling it's all going to get far too much rather quickly. Of late, there's been this whole discourse on YouTube and on the internet in general about hospice care wives, and the idea of a hospice care wife is somebody that's married someone 20 years older than them, and that person within a short space of time develops quite considerable health problems. The younger person is then tasked with being their carer for the foreseeable future. It's an awful lot to take on, especially for one so young. There's just 8 days to go before Jeymi gets married, and I would like to say pull out before then. It's not too late after that, of course. You can still leave, but it's a lot more of a ball ache when you've actually got to get a divorce. So yes, that's it. It's done for me. It's far too much, too soon. She's dropping these bombs on Jeymi left, right and centre, just as if they're nothing. Just casual little conversation pieces that she drops in. Oh, I have narcolepsy, I have car crashes. I take super strength painkillers. I have a predilection for knives. Guys, what is she holding back on? What hasn't she told us? I mean, there's one thing she hasn't told us. Why she wears a scrunchie around each wrist. Yeah, guys, I'm quite worried for Jeymi, and I'd love to know what you think. Please put your thoughts in comments down below. Please keep it as PG as you can. I know a lot of you have got very strong thoughts on Kris, and I'd love to hear them. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. I really genuinely appreciate it. And if you've enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. It really does help me out. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.